willing to bet that you and I have a common problem that is living rent-free in our mind. And that is we are not keeping our memories because all of our pictures and all of our defining moments, they're living in here where we can't see them. And so this summer, we are going to be solving that together in an experience I am creating called Glam Memories. In Glam Memories, we are going to go from thousands of scattered images in here to beautifully curated, elevated albums. And we're gonna be doing that in a variety of different ways so that if you want the simplest, most efficient, most cost-effective way to curate your memories, to keep your memories, we're gonna start there, moving all the way up to trad scrapbooking, full-blown embellishments, the whole kit and caboodle. And this is also for you if maybe you don't consider yourself a scrapbooker and it's not something that you're interested in. If that's you, I've yet to meet a woman who is not interested in keeping their memories in some way though. But if that is you and you think you're not interested in scrapbooking, I would be willing to bet that there's something in your life that you want to document that you're not documenting. Maybe you want to make a cookbook for a loved one or for yourself. Maybe you want to document your reading life. Maybe you want to create a baby book for your child or maybe for your child's school years, or maybe you want to do some heritage scrapbooking and really handle well some of the things that have been passed down to you, and you are kind of the family legacy keeper. So wherever you fall in that spectrum, there is going to be something in Glam Memories for you, more than one thing. Everything that I share with you, you're gonna be able to apply to whatever type of memory keeping you want to do, so that at the end of the summer, you walk away with not only beautifully kept memories, but a sustainable system that you can continue on throughout the course of your life and throughout the course of your family's life, and even pass down to future generations. So that is what we're doing together this summer. And in this video, I wanted to share with you how I create my album spines, because A, I have kind of a hot take, and B, because there is a few things that are as satisfying as seeing a line of albums all together on the shelf, knowing that your memories are kept. So let me show you how I create my album spines. You can use this method for whatever you want to title, but it's just really fun, and just the endorphins that are released when you put the little label into the album is just like, I'm living. I am becoming and living as the woman I want to be. Okay, so here are my album spines, and these again are just done on standard 4x6 prints at my personal photo shop here in Napa, but you can do these with Nations Photo Lab, or if you have a in-person, local photo shop, amazing. So these are the glossy prints, and I just made a label for my Denver era album, my LA era album, my Napa era, and then I wanted to do one that's kind of a companion just to start this year. So this year would be, kind of its own story, because it really does feel like its own story. So I'm going to show you the full process of how I make these, graphics and all, but I just want to show you the labels themselves first. And then the second one is all my organizational albums. So I have one album that has my project life cards, one that has my ephemera envelopes, one that has photo pages for photo sleeves that are like 8x10, 5x7, 8.5x11 for things that I want to use those for. And then I have an album with all of my 12x12 pages. And if you're curious about any of this, I am going to be doing a craft room tour in the next couple of weeks for members, so you can get a ton of ideas on how to organize your supplies as we gear up for Glam Memories. And please do not feel like you have to have everything organized before we get started. Absolutely, we are starting exactly where we are, and sometimes the way you want to organize things changes as your memory keeping changes as well. So we're going to be going over so much in the Glam Memories experience. It might actually be advisable to kind of wait to fully organize your space if that's something you want to do, but of course you want to make sure you can get to your things. So that is where I am at. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut these out on my standard 12x12 cutter. This is my favorite cutter, and it is probably 25 years old, you guys. I think I bought this in like 2003 or 2004. They still make them and they're in a much prettier color. I have a Glam Memories Amazon shopping list in my storefront if you want to kind of start getting the basics. You don't need much to get started, but I am going to be doing a video on kind of a starter kit for memory keeping as we get closer to the launch of Glam Memories. So let's go ahead and cut these out. Okay, I have the first set cut out, and don't worry about making them absolutely perfect because the sides of the albums will hide any imperfections. So you don't need to worry about like perfectly getting the black lines cut off or anything like that. All right, let's put our labels inside our album. Okay, sisters, we're in my craft room and I wanted to show you these labels that I printed here at home versus the labels that I had professionally printed. All right, see how the ones on the right, they just have a little pop. They just have a little something extra. Like these are the type awesomes. You know, you can just kind of tell, like they just call to you a little more. They just wake you up a little more. They pull you into your life and your memories just a little bit more. And that's what we want, right? We want just like that understated elegance to call to us. And so that's why I use this process. And I'm also going to be using it for other things in my house too. Like I'm going to be labeling some bins this way. And if it's something that's going to be part of my home and part of my home decor, something I'm going to be seeing every day, I always just kind of want to give it a little something extra. So as I slip these samples out, you can tell that these I did not cut perfectly either, but it's okay because the border on the albums will go ahead and hide any imperfections. Okay, so here is our album spine document in Canva, and you can see it looks absolutely stunning. So here's the first page and the second page. So let's say that I want to make a brand new spine. So I'm just going to duplicate this document, and then I'm going to start totally over. So I just am going to potentially delete anything that I don't want. But what I am going to recommend, and you'll see this in the template, is that you want to keep your spacing and your sizing uniform. So when your albums are lined up on a shelf, they look beautiful. So I do not typically delete. I like to just type over. So let's just say that I'm making an album specifically about 2026 and I don't want to use any sort of other year on it. So let's just do this. Let's just go 2026, and I'm going to want to keep the top of this even, but say I want to make this bigger so it kind of fits the whole frame. So say I just want to make it look like it is still a different story, but same heart behind it. So say we want to do 2026 like that. And let's just say that I want to do a graphic, and this is kind of how I think about things. So say that I want to do a graphic that tells the story of 2026. And let's say in 2026, I moved to San Francisco. That was the biggest thing that happened in 2026. So I'm going to go ahead and use Canva to find a graphic that matches San Francisco and matches that story. So we're going to come over here to elements, and we're just going to describe our ideal element, just like it asks us to do. So let's type in San Francisco and see what we get. So I like to use the graphics that allow me to change the colors because I, of course, want everything to be in Paper and Glam pink because that is my signature color, and you probably want yours to be in your signature color. I like graphics that are really simple. So, this one's kind of like a line drawn look, and I always like a vector look. So this would be more of a vector look. So let's try this one. Okay, so you'll notice I'm not deleting the previous graphic because I want everything to be about the same size. So this one is clearly a lot taller, which we may or may not like at the end of the day, but let's just say we're going to roll with it. This would be, about the sizing, and we can go ahead and delete what is behind it. So I'm going to send this to back. So this one is on the front, and I deleted both of them. Okay. Control Z is your friend. All right, so what we can do is just go ahead and delete it, and then we'll use the little built-in guides Canva has to align the graphic. So let's just say we like that, and we can change the color to, I'm going to change it to Paper and Glam Pink, and maybe these aren't all going to go on the same shelf, and I kind of just want to center it up on the label itself. Then you would just do that. Or maybe I just want to make this smaller so that they are all about the same size. So we can see it's truing it up with the other labels here on the side. So now that's about that same size, and we have something that looks like pretty cohesive. And say I want to maybe like just move it up a little bit, get it closer to those mountains. Since I don't have the year here, you could do that. Or you can just keep looking for other graphics and just see what calls to you. So maybe I like this one because it's more similar to the LA cityscape I had before. So we can just Control Z all the way back. There's no mistakes in digital art, which we love. So this one is a little bit longer and might not be ideal, but maybe it's ideal for another project that you're working on. So I kind of just like to see what Canva has. So for everything Paper and Glam, in terms of like what I release in the shop, we do everything in Illustrator, and everything is hand-drawn vector art. But for just personal use things, I absolutely love using Canva, and you just have so many different options for what you want to do. Say you love this bridge, just whatever picture you feel like captures your story for the album. So like this is a really cute one. This one might be cute. So I just keep kind of looking until I find something that just calls to me and fits the album spine. So I went ahead and finished this, just pretending this is the true next era of my story. You can see I picked a graphic that kind of matches the LA and Denver graphics, but still has its own look and vibe. Just updated it to SF era and put different years in, and they're all telling kind of a extended story with their individual chapters, and I just love that. So here is the template available in the shop, paperandglam.com, and then you just click scrapbooking, or it's linked right down below. And I made a template that just gave you some ideas and just some different layouts for how you might want to make your album spines depending on what type of story you are going to be telling. So the first one is the era framework I'm using. The second one is if you wanted to do a reading journal. I'm going to be doing a reading journal in probably a 6x8 format as part of Glam Memories, which I think is super fun just to get my reading life cataloged, and most of us are big readers, and that's just been a project I've wanted to take on, so that's the inspiration for this one. You could also use it if you're making a cookbook or anything like that. The next one I did if you wanted to memory keep your wedding, you wanted to get those pictures out into the world. And then lastly, I kept this one if you wanted to do an album for each year. And so that is the last one. So I hope this gives you some ideas and then just kind of makes things super simple for creating these spines and just having something you can send off to your photo printer and have right back to add to your albums. All right, sisters, that is my hot take on Glam labels, right? How to title things and label things. You can use this method for anything in your house that you want to title. I'm going to be using this to create some bin labels that I've been needing to do since I moved to my first apartment in LA, and I have all these bins in my closet that are not labeled, and I have to like shuffle them around every single time I go to get ready, and that would be much easier if I just took the time to label them, and now we have a process to do just that. So I hope this served you, and I hope you take me up on this offer to become a Glam memory keeper, to get your memories out into the real world, and also to join book club. So like we talked about at the top of the video and in the video last week, the book club membership is open. So if you want to join just the book club pillar of the Paper and Glam experience that is open ending today. I would so love to have you reading along with us. And of course, if you want to join the full membership, I would love that too. That will include Glam memories and just, it's the whole kit and caboodle. So that's the full Glam experience. So with that, like and subscribe if you haven't already. That tells YouTube that you want me to make more of these videos. So that helps me grow, and I will be back next Thursday with you for our regularly scheduled Glam Thursday appearance. So with that, I love you guys. Thank you so much for being here, for watching, and for taking the time to leave a comment. I appreciate so much when you guys leave me comments. Let me know what types of videos you would love to see, any questions, anything like that. I love hearing from you guys. So with that, I'll see you next time.